Hello Libra, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Libra for the week of August 22nd. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and see what we have going on here for you, Libra. Hope things are going well for you. Things are good. I am using the Tarot Muka as well as the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. Interesting energies here. Interesting energies. Let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up and in view. Then we'll get right into it. All right. We'll go ahead and take 3 of these Kipper cards to clarify as we go along. We'll also put this right here. Okay, that looks just about good enough to me. So there's been something here, Libra, that you've had to let go of, and you don't see it now, but the thing is, in letting go of whatever this is, it has to do with maybe communication with someone, has to do with maybe something about racing thoughts or excessive anxiety or excessive thoughts that you've been maybe dealing with. There's something that you've really let go of, and in doing this, you can't see it now, but there is a new beginning coming in as a result of doing this kind of energetic, kind of spiritual work of letting go. So I definitely like to see that for you. There is a challenge ahead, but it's definitely not something that you haven't dealt with before. You've certainly dealt with something like this before, and you've been successful in dealing with this, which means you can be successful again. And I'll talk about more about that as we go along. But let's just dive in here. So you have this interesting combination of the Hanging Man in the middle and the Death card in the past. I'll talk about what that means. But in the overall situation, you do have the Hanging Man. Hanging Man is, on one part, they are sort of contemplating the universe here. As you can see, the halo behind them, they're sort of attaining enlightenment. They're thinking, right? They're thinking, but they're doing a whole lot of thinking and not a whole lot of doing. Okay, they are just sort of hanging out. Other than, we could say meditating, searching for enlightenment, contemplating. Other than that, they're not doing a whole lot here. They're kind of just hanging out where they are. And the idea of the Hanging Man is, you can see the symbolism of them sort of hanging on by a thread here. The idea with the Hanging Man is, as soon as they cut this thread or this rope that they're hanging out with, they will start to free fall. And they will fall in to the number 13 card. Number 12, the Hanging Man, number 13, the Death card. As they begin to fall, they simultaneously begin their transformation. And so this person, what they really need is to embrace the unknown. They'll never know what is below them until they let go. And so this is about potentially indecision. Libra, I'm a Libra, okay? Listen, I'm a Libra sun sign. I have 3 Libra placements. Trust me, I know all about indecision. Okay, and I'm sure you do too, if you're a very Libra person. But there is something about indecision here that is clouding your thoughts, that's showing up heavy in the cards at this time. Reason being is not just the Hanging Man, but also because in the past you have the 8 of Swords and the Death card. The 8 of Swords can be a card of indecision, and not just indecision, but indecision that leaves you sort of like mentally cloudy or mentally unsure, or kind of indecision that leaves you locked or trapped in your situation. You can see that this person is blindfolded. The blindfold symbolism means that you're kind of, there's a lack of clarity. And the sword symbolism is your thoughts. They are surrounded by swords, which means they are surrounded by thoughts, which therefore is making them kind of have a lack of clarity in their life. This is being trapped in your mind. This is being trapped in indecision. In this case, because of this Hanging Man showing up very heavily here in the middle. What's interesting is you have the Death card with it as well. The Death card's in the past, but the Hanging Man is showing up in the overall situation. And the death card is not about death and dying, it's about transformations in one's life. It's about embracing the unknown. And what I'm seeing here is that some of you really have had to let go of something or someone, but it's been very hard for you to do this. And I think some of you have embraced the transformation, and I think some of you have not. And you will be soon if you don't. Like, if you haven't already let go of this thing that's been taking up your energy, or that has been sort of weighing heavy on your mind, you will let go of that soon. And this is really a nice combination when you get the Hanging Man and the Death card, because transformations are fun. You know, transformations can be very challenging, but they're also very rewarding, and they can be very fun as well. So let's go ahead and see what this might lead to. In the future, you have the Ace of Cups and the Five of Wands. So this transformation is clearly leading to a new beginning that could make you very happy here with the Ace of Cups. This is a new beginning in happiness, or it's new happiness entering into your life. It's like a happiness pill. The overflowing cup is like being kind of just totally enamored, and kind of this idea of being totally kind of like overflowing with joy. Overflowing cups in tarot are a very good sign. The dove is a symbol of love. And so this can be about somebody new coming into your life. You know, they could be a fire sign with the Five of Wands. They may be somebody who will challenge you. But more importantly here, this Ace of Cups, it could also, if you're not interested in new love, this could just be a new start in your life that's very happy, that brings a lot of happiness to you. The Five of Wands is about a conflict or tension or a battle or something like that. The thing is, the Five of Wands helps you get stronger. And what I would say is there may be tension internally here, I think, above all else. And I think that this tension or this war is happening at the internal level because we have this idea of you being indecisive with the Death card and the Hanging Man, as well as the Eight of Swords. And so that internal tension is going to be there for you, Libra, until you let go of something. And that's what I really feel like is happening here. Let's go ahead and get some more clarification on what this might be around. So you have the Knight of Swords, you have the Seven of Wands, Eight of Cups, and the Empress. So, yeah, this is a very cathartic type of energy here, very real, and kind of what you see is what you get type of energy here, showing up in the cards. But but there are also some very bright lights here as well for you. So you have this Knight of Swords in the past. The Knight of Swords is about swift action. It's about it could even be about destruction in one's life, but I don't think that this is destructive. The thing about, if there's something that's destructive here in this reading, it's your thoughts, honestly, because of this like very heavy message of indecision. That would be the only thing that I see as destructive showing up here. But the Knight of Swords really says, strike while the iron is hot, take action, take swift action, you know, go for something. The Seven of Wands represents standing your ground and, you know, really defending your position, defending what you know is true for you, and not letting anyone sort of knock you off your path in any way. So I do feel like some of you were met with resistance from somebody, or there's been some sort of like challenge or test for you to sort of overcome or surmount here with the Seven of Wands and the Eight of Swords. You've spent a lot of time thinking about this. You've created all of the scenarios in your mind. Like you've weighed out all of the options. You've laid out all of the options. You clearly see that if you do X, Y will happen. If you do Z, W will happen. X, you know, so forth and so on. Like you've calculated it all out. And I think the outcome for you is that you've stood your ground, and if that didn't work, you've walked away, because you have this Eight of Cups here. Sometimes we do simply have to walk away. We have to let go of something, or we have to let go of people that are not serving us. And that is what this person is doing. They have their back turned towards these empty cups, which represent disappointing people or situations. And they're really ready to embrace a wish into their life. They're ready to walk towards the Nine of Cups. And in this case, you're walking towards the Ace of Cups. But there's been something here that you've really, it's been a struggle, but you've really, really let go, walked away from. And again, I don't think you see it now, but this is very positive action. This is a very positive action that you've taken, because you have this Ace of Cups, but now you also have the Empress in the future, which the Empress is a major energy of abundance. And it's also Venus. You can see the Venus sign on the stone. Venus is a planet of love, beauty, relationships, romance, but luxury, wealth, abundance. It's definitely a money planet and a love planet. It's a positive energy. And so, yeah, getting something as a result of walking away. So I definitely like to see this. Let's go ahead and see what else we have in the Kipper here. So you have concern, expectation, and wealthy man. So somebody could be placing a high expectation on you at this time, Libra. And you can see that this person here is deep in thoughts. Okay, they're deep in thoughts. And they're really ruminating. Okay, there's a big message of rumination, and that comes straight from if you get the Kipper deck and you read the manual, they'll even say that this is a card of rumination, and so is the Eight of Swords. And so you've been deep in thought, you've been kind of laying out all the scenarios in your mind. I would say with expectation, I think somebody's placed a high expectation on you, and this could be part of the reason why you're kind of struggling to kind of handle that situation in your life. Wealthy man is a very good card of this person's at the end of a successful trading day. And so this talks about really positive energy for investments and just generally in your financial situation. Obviously take it as it resonates, but let's go ahead and get some more messages here. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have the Nine of Wands, you have the King of Swords, and you also have the Four of Swords. You know, swords just, I mean, they're, 1, 2, 3, 4 swords, but it just feels like swords is the predominant energy in this reading. Of course, swords are represented, air signs are represented by the swords suit. But more importantly, it's about your thoughts and your thought process, your communication, situations like that. And this is the predominant energy for you at this time. I think for some of you, I also think you need to be careful of placing a high expectation on yourself here. The King of Swords is heavy Libra energy. Doesn't matter what gender you are, by the way. I don't attach gender to my cards. You can take on any of these cards. But the King of Swords is heavy Libra energy, and this energy of expectation, since this has been such a message around kind of you and you needing to let go of something in your thoughts, driving your reality, and so forth and so on, I get the sense that some of you need to be careful that you're not placing a high expectation on yourself here. Yeah, with that King of Swords in the middle, there's been resistance from something. I think there's been internal resistance here with the Nine of Wands in the past. Obviously, I was getting that message where that you've had to defend yourself against somebody, or you've had to really hold your line or hold your ground on somebody. And I do think that is also showing up here with the Nine of Wands in the past. Nine of Wands can be somebody who annoys you, or just sort of like pushes the right buttons, if you will, in your life, and you needing to just sort of defend yourself against that. I think some of you maybe have dealt with that. I love that the Four of Swords is in the future for you, because the Four of Swords represents recovery, healing, and rest and rejuvenation from a situation. So I definitely like to see that. Let's go ahead and get some more cards. You have the Page of Cups and you have the Tower. So the Page of Cups is a love offer or a love interest or something having to do with romance or even just happiness in your life. If it's not about your romantic situation, it could be about happiness generally. The Page of Cups could be somebody who's like a dreamer, somebody who has grand visions for the future, but they must take action to accomplish those visions and those goals. The Tower is something unexpected. It is an upheaval. However, the Tower is also a major blessing in disguise. It's seen as a major blessing in disguise because there may be something in your life that's just kind of on shaky ground or on unstable ground, but nobody wants to live in a house of cards, and the Tower collapses the house of cards in order for you to make way for something better. And that's why it is a blessing in disguise. And so whatever you're letting go of here, again, is this idea of you not being able to see right now what this is bringing in, but it is bringing in something. It is bringing in a blessing for you. At the top of the pyramid, yeah, look, I mean, for sure, you have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is one of the happiest cards in the tarot. It's a message of total joy, abundance, happiness. It's like a windfall of happiness. And it truly is like the sort of the sun shining and really good vibes. It's really good vibes and euphoria when you get the Ten of Cups. It's the last cup, or it's the last card in the suit of cups, and it is a completion around happiness, joy, love, romance in your life. So I definitely like to see this. Certainly not afraid of this Tower card in this reading at all. I really think that this is about a blessing in disguise coming in for you, but you must let go of something, just to be very clear. And I think some of you have and some of you will. Yeah, Five of Swords. This means letting go or cutting ties with something or someone. Sometimes that's how it is. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Kind of all over the place, but hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.